Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech. You've probably seen the headlines floating around, right? Apple is upgrading Siri, the US is pouring money into chip makers, there's this massive new esports tournament in Saudi Arabia. On the surface, they look like totally separate stories. Well, they're not. They are all battlefronts in a new global power struggle for control of our digital future.
To really get what's going on, let's start with something you probably have in your pocket right now, your phone. We all kind of know Siri has, well, fallen behind the competition. But that might be about to change in a big way, because Siri could be getting a full-on brain transplant. So, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to connect Apple's potential AI brain swap to America's chip policy. Then we'll follow the money in the wild AI gold rush. From there, we'll jump into the new cultural battlefield of gaming. And finally, we'll see who's fighting to set the rules for all of it.
Okay, let's dive into that first front, the AI that's supposed to power our devices. In this race, falling behind is just not an option.
So get this, inside Apple, there's what they're calling a bake-off going on. They know their own in-house AI just isn't cutting it anymore. So they're facing this huge choice. Do they try to build a better one from scratch, or do they license it from a competitor?
Now this list of contenders, this is where it gets really interesting. Apple's talking to OpenAI and Anthropic, which makes sense, but they're also deep in negotiations with Google to maybe license its Gemini models. And that is fascinating, especially when you remember Apple and Google already have a $20 billion a year search deal.
And that whole race for smarter software, it leads us directly to an even more fundamental battleground, the hardware, because a powerful AI is really just fancy code without a powerful chip to run it. This brings us straight into the world of national security. See, the fight for these cutting-edge chips isn't just about making our phones faster. It's about economic and even military survival. And here's the problem in a nutshell. The United States is almost completely dependent on Taiwan for the world's most advanced chips. And experts are pretty clear. Losing access to them wouldn't just be an inconvenience. They say it would be an economic catastrophe. So to deal with this vulnerability, the US government did something pretty much unheard of. It used money from the CHIPS Act to buy a nearly 10% stake in Intel. I mean, that is a level of government intervention in a single company that we just haven't seen in decades.
But you shouldn't think of this like a normal business deal. As one security expert put it, it's really more like an insurance policy. The goal isn't to make Intel the most profitable chip maker on the planet. The goal is to guarantee, no matter what happens in the world, that the US has a domestic supply of chips for its most critical defense and security needs.
So, you've got governments pouring billions into securing chip supplies and tech giants spending billions on AI models. It's really no surprise that Wall Street has taken notice. Actually, taken notice is an understatement. The money flowing into this space has created an absolute frenzy. Which brings us right to the markets. The promise of AI has sent company valuations into the stratosphere, and what we're seeing is a brand new kind of gold rush. Now, in this gold rush, analysts see two main ways to play. You've got your picks and shovels companies, like Nvidia. They make the essential hardware, those GPUs that literally everyone needs. And then you have the gold miners, like the software company Palantir, who use that hardware to build AI solutions and find the gold for their customers. And let me tell you, the miners are striking gold. Palantir has accelerated its revenue growth for 8 straight quarters. But here's the mind-blowing part. They're doing it while their headcount is actually shrinking. The CEO even claims they can grow 10 times bigger with a smaller workforce, all because of their own AI tools. The market reaction has been, well, explosive. One analyst described Palantir's valuation as being like living on Mount Everest. Trading at 70 times revenue, some are saying it's on a different planet, which, raises some serious questions about how long that can last.
But this global power struggle isn't just being fought in boardrooms and on stock markets. It's expanding into brand new arenas, including the one place where hundreds of millions of young people are spending their time: video games.
So take a look at the new Esports World Cup. It's being hosted by Saudi Arabia, and it's this massive tournament that brings the best players from dozens of games all to one place, basically creating an Olympics for competitive gaming. And this is a very strategic move. In Saudi Arabia, a staggering 70% of the population identifies as gamers. The government sees this as a direct line, a way to engage with the next generation. When it comes down to it, this is all about soft power. By becoming the global hub for esports, Saudi Arabia isn't just diversifying its economy away from oil. It's positioning itself as a major force in youth culture, and that is an incredibly powerful tool for global influence.
So, okay, we have new technologies, new dependencies on hardware, new market dynamics, and entirely new cultural arenas. All of this leads to the final and maybe the most important battleground. Who gets to set the rules for this new digital world?
American tech companies are basically caught in a global tug-of-war. As other countries pass new laws on things like privacy and speech, the U.S. Federal Trade Commission is drawing a line in the sand. And its warning is clear. Complying with foreign laws cannot come at the expense of protections for U.S. consumers.
So you see, this new power play is really a multi-front war. It's a race to control the AI that thinks, the chips that power it, the markets that fund it, the cultural platforms that engage us, and ultimately the laws that govern all of it.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. The next time you see a headline about a new AI, or a chip deal, or a gaming tournament, remember it's not just a standalone story. It's one move in a much larger global game. A game that is actively shaping the digital world that you live in. If you enjoyed the episode, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.